wondered why there is life only on Earth and not on any other planets in the solar system. There are 8 planets, and why only the Earth? There is a lot of reasons why only Earth, but it usually connects to the features. So we will learn the features one by one. So we all know that Earth is our home planet, and have you ever seen the picture of the Earth, that the Earth has a green part and a blue part? But if you go a little far away, Earth, we can see that it appears blue. Why is it so? Because we all know that the water has taken up 70% of the whole Earth, and there's only 30% of land. See, from other planets, it looks like it's completely blue. But we know that it's not completely blue, and it's a mixture of green and blue. And the green denotes the land and the blue denotes the water. So we know that there are layers of rock and metal below the water and the land. And there is also the core, which is like our mini sun. And we can also see layers and layers of air surrounding the Earth like a blanket. And why is there a layer of air surrounding the Earth, and what is it called? We know that it is called the atmosphere, and it is there to protect the Earth from the harmful UV rays from the sun. And this is one of the features why Earth is habitable. And we can see there is a little follower following the Earth, and it is rotating around the Earth. So what is this follower? The follower is known as lunar, and it rotates around the Earth in an elliptical axis. Luna is most popularly known as the moon, and it is the natural satellite of our Earth. What is a satellite? Satellite is any body or a planet that revolves on other bodies, or a star is known as a satellite. So Earth is a satellite for the sun, because the Earth rotates around the sun and the moon rotates around the Earth. And we all know that the shape of the Earth will be something like a spear, like this ball. But is the shape of the Earth like a spear or like this ball? Not exactly. It is not exactly like this ball, but it is more of like a pumpkin, slightly flat on the poles and bulging at the equator. This is how our Earth looks. Even though it looks a lot like a spear, it is not. Its shape is actually known as a geoid. So this is almost how our Earth looks like. So we can see that the Earth isn't exactly spear like this. It is slightly flat and bulging at the equator. So if a rod is passed through here, and the rod is exactly the length what it has passed, then the length of the rod will be 12,714 kilometers. So from this point to this point, it will be 12,714 kilometers. And what happens if the rod is passing through here, like this, and the length that has passed through the Earth will be 12,757 kilometers. Now let's study about the movements of the Earth. Now let's act like this is the sun and this is the Earth. So first we'll be studying about rotation. So this movement, when it rotates along its axis, is known as rotation. See, it is rotating. So this causes day and night, and this lasts for exactly 24 hours. That is what we call a day. So when Earth rotates one rotation completely, it is a day. Now we can see that the Earth has moved to here. It is because it is rotating along with its orbit, and this movement is known as revolution. So what exactly is this orbit and axis that I'm talking about? So orbit is a path that the Earth or any other planet follows around the Sun or any other star. So when the Earth revolutes like this path is known as the orbit. The orbits are not spherical like this, but they are elliptical or oval in shape. And what is axis? So, axis is an imaginary line that runs through the Earth along the way it rotates. So, we think that the Earth rotates like this. Don't we? But the Earth does not rotate like that. It rotates in a slightly tilted manner, like this. So, we know that revolution is basically a year. And we know that we don't only have one climate during the revolution. We have many climates. And this happens because of the seasons. And how does the season happen? The season happens because of the revolution of the Earth around the Sun. So, we know that 1 year equals to 365 and a quarter day. That is like a normal year. But when we are telling about a year, we really don't count this quarter every year. But every 4 years, we take this quarter as a day and take it to the count. That's why every leap year, February has an extra day. We know that moon is our natural satellite. Let us learn about the phases of the moon. So, when we see the moon daily, if you observe it, we can see that it's not always the perfect circle that we draw the moon like. It is sometimes there is no moon at all, and sometimes there's a little portion of it. Let's see why that happens. So, if you are the sun and this is the moon and I will be the earth. So when the moon is here and as the sun light is coming, the lit part will be facing the sun and not the earth. So we can see nothing and it will be a blank sky. In about 3 days or so, when the moon reaches here, then we can see a little portion of it lit. And that will be called as the waxing crescent. It will be like this. Then when it comes here, we can see exactly half of the moon. That will be known as the first quarter. Now from here, when we slowly move here, that is 3 days or so, this part is known as the waxing gibbous. It is 3 by 4 parts and it is not exactly the half of it. So it is known as the waxing gibbous. It is increasing. Then when we come here, we have the most famous of them all and one of the most beautifulest part of the moon or the phase of the moon. This is known as the full moon. Now when it comes here, it will be known as the waning gibbous because it slowly comes back to the 3/4 part of the moon that we saw here. But it's called waxing because it's increasing and waning because it's decreasing. Same happens with the crescent as well. Now when it comes here, it will be known as the third quarter. And again, this will be the half of the moon. Then when we come here, it will be the waning crescent. Again, because it's decreasing. Then when we come here, we will again come back to the new moon. So this is the phases of the moon. This is like a cycle of the moon. And when this finishes, this cycle of this path or the orbit of the moon, when the moon finishes it, it will be counted as a lunar month. So this is how basically our ancestors used to figure out that 1 month is over. And while doing this cycle, we also figured out that the moon isn't revolving the earth like this, but rather is revolving like this. And now that we have known about our natural satellite, let's learn more about our artificial satellite. So, there are about 5,000 artificial satellites, all revolving the earth to collect more information, data, and also they help us to communicate. So, these artificial satellites help us to collect more information, not only about the earth but about any other planet. Because if we are planning to go on the Mars as example, we don't know how Mars is. We don't know the characteristics of Mars. So, we will send a satellite there. The satellite will send the pictures of the Mars, and then we can see how the Mars is, and then we can go to the Mars and see if it's safe. So, the satellites help us to study a planet without really going there. So, there are a lot of satellites for many of the planets, but the Earth has the most satellites with 5,000, as I told. And also they help in communication. How in communication? Because if you're calling your friend and you're in Karnataka, Bangalore, and you're calling your friend who's in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and when you're calling, your phone sends radio signals to the nearest cell tower near you. And that cell tower sends it to the satellite. The satellite sends the signal to the closest cell tower near your friend, and that sends it to your friend's phone, and that's how you talk using phones. And they also help in aeroplane and train navigation. So this is a small diagram of our solar system. We can see that the Sun is here, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. So, we know that our Earth is here, the right distance from the Sun. I will write Earth here so that we don't get confused. So, it is in the right distance between the Sun. This is the perfect distance for life to exist. So, if the Earth was just here, then Earth would have, all the water on the Earth would have evaporated and boiled, and it would not have allowed life to exist. If it was just here in the place of Mars, all the water in the Earth would be frozen and still life could not exist. So Earth is in its perfect place. That is one of the reasons why Earth has life. So we know that the Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun. But a fact is, it is not really the hottest planet, because if this is Mercury, the part that is facing the Sun is very hot, and the part that is not facing the Sun, this part, it is so cold that it comes below -100 degrees. It gets really cold and really hot here. So we cannot actually tell it as the hottest planet. But Venus is the hottest, the brightest planet in the solar system. And if you have noticed, we can see that the Mercury takes a really less time to revolve around the Sun. And we also know that the Neptune revolving takes a lot of time. So, if you know this, one day on Mercury takes 59 Earth days. So, just one rotation of Mercury takes about 59 Earth days. So, it is about like 2 months. And if you are seeing, you can have about 30 days of sleep and 30 days of play. So that is kind of nice, except for the extreme temperature in the Mercury. And other thing is, 1 year in Mercury is just 88 Earth days. So that means you can get your birthdays more often. Then we can know about the Neptune, the farthest from the Sun and it is really cold for that reason. So, in Neptune, one day takes 16 hours. Very less, right? Less than the Earth. But 1 year, just 1 year in Neptune takes 165 years on the Earth. That is probably you'll only have one birthday in your lifetime. So the Neptune takes the longest time to revolve around the Sun, and the Mercury takes the shortest time. Why is it so, if you ask? So for this you can perform a small activity. Get like 3 of your friends, make one to play the role of the Sun, and you or your other friend can play this role of Mercury a little close to your friend who is the Sun, and the one who is playing the Neptune can go the far, really far. He can be the farthest. Then they both can start together to revolve around the Sun at the same time. So then we can notice that the one that is the Mercury finishes his revolution before that the one who's playing the Neptune can finish it, because as the Mercury is very close to the Sun, its orbit comes very less or shorter. That's why it can finish it fast. So that's it for today's video. ನಿಮಗೆ ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಇಷ್ಟವಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸಿಗೂ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಶ್ರೀವರ್ಣ ಕುಟುಂಬನ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ಶ್ರೀವರ್ಣ ಕುಟುಂಬನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಚಿಂಗ್.